All aboard. Apollo's first case for the Write Anything Agency has come to an end. What will happen next? How about a concert? Let's rock! We love you! Rock on, everyone! This party's not over yet! Get out your handkerchiefs for our special guest! That's right, baby! The night's just getting started! Thank you for coming to the Gaviner's Guilty as Charged tour. This ends the first part of tonight's show. There will now be a 20-minute intermission. Ad break. This is so this is so cool! Us at a Gaviner's concert! Huh? Did you say something? My ears are still ringing. The Gaviners putting the sick back in music. Well, I thought Mr. Gavin was really nice. Sending us those tickets at 20% off. They're hard to get a hold of, you know. When you invite people to a concert, it's usually free. Let's head to his dressing room, Apollo. You know, like we're a couple of VIPs. I've always dreamed of being a VIP at a Gaviner show. Trucy, you didn't know who Prosecutor Gavin was before that case. What kind of fan doesn't know the lead vocalist's name? Oh, this guy. Well, he was more like a prince, really. He let us in. Clavier. What a lovely name. He's so dreamy. Yeah, but I'm a girl. I'm supposed to swoon over gods of rock. God awful, maybe. I bought all their stuff on the way home from the trial. I got 12 Gaviner's albums and 15 concert videos. That was quite a bit of impulse shopping. I got an advance on my next 15 years worth of allowance. For Mr. Wright, that sounds like a real act of generosity. Who would have imagined me here at a Gaviner's concert watching Prosecutor Gavin rock? To be honest, he was kind of cool, and I'm kind of envious. Not that I'd ever admit that to Trucy. Ah, you made it! Mr. Gavin, thanks so much for the tickets! And the invoice you sent along with them. You were incredible up on stage, Mr. Gavin! Nothing like music to brighten the mood after a trial, yeah? Oh, hell. And we're almost ready for our next act. I'm looking forward to it myself. La Mirar's singing, right? The siren of the ballad? Oh yeah. That flyer said she flew all the way over for this show. That's right. I happened to catch her show while overseas. Her voice is divine. I knew I had to invite her to perform with us. La Mirar says, you praised me too highly. Whoa, who's this guy? He's huge. Allow me to introduce Mr. Romain Letousse, La Mirar's manager and her interpreter, incidentally.
It is a great honor for us to be here, and a great honor for La Mirar to be heard in this country.
That voice! I wish I could understand it. It's beautiful. Ooh, it's La Mirar. I'm actually meeting La Mirar. La Mirar, mysterious songstress. Her quiet, deep song glides through the air, lilting above a sparse but elegant piano accompaniment. Now this is music. She's a real artist.
La Mirar says, "We have long looked forward to this joint performance."
Ah, La Mirar, your voice, it is art.
Yet without his piano to guide me, it is but a voice.
I've seen this skit somewhere before. He plays piano at all of La Mirar's concerts. He's cute, and he's a really good pianist. Good pianists are a dying breed, I hear.
Allow me to introduce Machi Tobai. He is blind. This is why he never strays far from La Mirar. They are always together.
They're like characters from some fairy tale. La Mirar's so, what's the word? Exotic. And mysterious. She does seem quite pretty. At least her eyes do. Hers is a kind of sightseeing musique. Huh? She travels the globe, putting the sights she sees into songs. Even though her appearance and voice are exotic, her songs remind us of something close and warm. Sights into song. That's so poetic. She was gracious enough to put music to my lyrics tonight. The Guitar Serenade. I hope you enjoy it. I can't wait! And now it is time. For the next part, we're giving the Gaviners hard rock a little rest. La Mirar, this stage is yours.
The band members will not play during La Mirar's ballad. Only Machi's tender tones and La Mirar's dulcet voice.
And my guitar, of course. Woohoo! Nights like this make it all worthwhile, you know? I should have learned to play the guitar. There's not much romance in chords of steel. Shall we hit the stage then? Good luck, Mr. Gavin. Take care your hearts aren't stolen away, yeah? Let's get back to the concert hall, Polly. Wow, wasn't La Mirar amazing? I even cried a little.
I was surprised Prosecutor Gavin actually burned his guitar.
Yeah, that even surprised me, and I'm a magician. What a production!
What a destruction. I don't think Prosecutor Gavin was expecting it either, oddly. He looked as surprised as I was.
Is that what they call risking life and limb for art? I think he's my new hero.
I'm not sure I'd call that art.
Well, what are we doing here? Let's get going to Mr. Gavin's dressing room. There's 20 minutes till the last part of the show.
How many breaks does this band need?
What the heck was that? I was never consulted about it.
Sorry, Mr. Gavin, sir. I've asked the man in charge.
I play new rock, not great balls of fire. Speaking of fire, I have a good mind to fire whoever's responsible. He seems upset. Apollo Justice, were you the one who tried to torch me? Hey, I didn't do it. So much for risking your life for art. The guitar Serenade is ruined! Ruined! Well, let's try to talk to him at least.
I'm not sure that's the best move right now.
Look, it's a postcard of La Mirar.
What are these letters at the bottom? I've never seen these before.
It must be your native tongue, Borginian.
Borginian, huh?
You mean the guitar, that wasn't part of the act? Part of the act? Who'd burn up a guitar on purpose? But it worked really well with the lyrics just then. Burning on in my heart, fire. Burn my love away, all away.
Wait, you think the audience thought it was? Sounds like he got lucky.
They probably thought it was part of the act. At least I did.
He got lucky and he didn't realize it.
Anyway, that guitar was the Ferrari of guitars. All the speed, all the sound, and all the price. If I burned one of those at every show, I'd go broke.
Unusually frugal for a rock band.
Try saying that to Mr. Gavin. Achtung! Today's been one disaster after another. My hog won't run, my guitar case is broken. Daddy told me there'd be days like these. But wasn't La Mirar's song incredible? You worked on it too, right, Mr. Gavin?
Ah, yes, thanks. It was a collaboration. I wrote the lyrics and she wrote the melody.
You know, I was surprised she could sing in English.
I'm sure she practiced a long time for this day. Ah, here. What's this?
A lyric sheet. It's yours. Signed by myself and La Mirar. Yippee! Thanks so much!
All I ever get to sign are client defense agreements.
Almost time for the third act of the night. Oh, there's more? Yes, La Mirar's part is done. Now it's time for us to drop our groove again, yeah? Hope you're ready to catch it. Woohoo! Ready, Apollo?
I think I'll pass.
Eh?
I like the bit with La Mirar, but the rest could use a volume knob turned way down.
Ah, Apollo, you're getting old.
Ah! Does 22 qualify as old to a 15-year-old?
Well, I'm going. Let the old folks rest backstage, yeah? Time to rock.
Hey, you're older than I am!
Hey, it's you! That right kid! Detective Sky! I'll let that right kid business pass. Call me Emma. There's no need for titles once you've shared a bottle of fingerprinting powder.
That's a new one. So, Emma, what are you doing here?
Isn't it obvious? I'm snacking. You think I want to be here? Me, in charge of security in this pit?
Security? Did something happen?
There's no knowing with that glimmerous fop. Apparently, he's all upset because something was stolen. He wanted security back here during the concert. Where does he get off acting like he's some big rock star?
He is a big rock star.
Hey, you listening to me?
So, where's this door here lead to?
This one? That's La Mirar's dressing room. Don't even think of going in there unless you want a piece of snackoos in your face.
Is she ever in a good mood, I wonder? So this is La Mirar's dressing room.
If you even think about going in there, I'll...
What was that? Was that a gunshot? Something's going on!
You, out of my way!
Emma!
La Mirar! La Mirar! It's not locked. I'm going in.
What's that awful noise? Oh, it's the concert. Ah! It's La Mirar's manager, Mr. What's his name?
Latouche! Oh no! Hey, you!
Me?
Watch this room for me. I have to call for backup.
Right, understood. You want me to make sure no one comes in, right?
And don't touch anything. I'll be right back.
What's going on? I just talked to him and now... He's alive! Mr. Latouche, can you hear me? Shot. I was shot. Who shot you? I don't know. Ask. Ask what? Ask witness. Witness? There was a witness? Who? Cold. So cold. Witness. You're cold? Don't worry. You're going to be fine. Help is on the way. Can't see. Hang in there, Mr. Latouche. Tell me, who is the witness? The witness is Siren. Siren? How can a siren witness anything? Mr. Latouche! Yipes! Emma? What was that? Who's there?
What's wrong?
Emma, did you see anyone just now?
Huh? No.
I could have sworn I heard a door close.
The concert's been canceled. Backup's on its way. Is Mr. Latouche... He's dead, isn't he? That's terrible.
I lost him! Romain Latouche, shot. And I heard his last words. The witness is the siren, whatever that means. The venue's locked down. We took names and addresses before letting the crowd go. Good work, Dayan. I'll let you know if I find out anything about the victim. Later.
It's investigation time then, ja, Fräulein Detective? I don't need some rock and rolling prosecutor to tell me that. One request I must make. Tell no one on staff or otherwise anything of this. Ooh, a gag order. No word gets out other than that Mr. Latouche is dead. No word of the cause of death or of the murder. Tell no one, not even La Mirar? Not even her. We must keep everything under wraps. Oh, one other thing. I'll need your signature on this, Hair Forehead. Yours too, Fräulein. On that? An investigation request? Why just us? You two are civilians. It's standard procedure. That should be okay to sign, I think. Right, well, let's get started with the investigation. I'm on it already! Oh, and one tip for you. Huh? Me? Try not to get into the Fraulein detective's way. She's in a foul mood today. Gee, I wonder why. We were all questioned as witnesses. And now none of us can go home. We'll investigate, all right. Our way. Somehow I don't see us getting back to that crime scene anytime soon. I still can't believe I was there when it happened. Not an experience I care to repeat anytime soon. This is no time for navel-gazing. Let's crack this case. I worry about Trucy. She seems to have a very loose idea of what it means to be an attorney. Of course, that's not surprising considering who her father is. Something the matter? No. Let's get cracking. I'm the only one who was there. The only one who heard Mr. Latusse's last words. The witness is Siren. First order of business is to find out what he meant by siren. What's that? It looks like some kind of future phone. Not a phone, a transceiver. It's called a headset. What's a headset doing on the floor? Wait, do you think Mr. Latousse might have been wearing it? Like one of those bodyguards? I don't think he was wearing one when we first met. The LED on this thing is lit. Must be on. Oh, it's you. I figured you'd come. You have to let us investigate the scene, please! You're attorneys, no? Shouldn't you wait until you have a client? Latousse did tell me to ask the witness, the siren. With his dying breath, no less. Doesn't that count? Glare at me all you want, you'll get no snacks from me. Please, think of poor Lamurar. Oh well, I suppose. You did find the body with me. Great, let's get to it. Right. Just try not to touch anything. She's letting us look, and she's not munching her snacks. This bodes well. There are clues here, I can feel it. Leave no hanger unhung, no spot unspotted. Ooh, what a pretty brooch. Oh, Emma? You're not going to say, can I have it, please, are you? Oh. Look, you may be a cute little girl of 15, but that doesn't get you any special treatment with me. Oh. It's not healthy to envy the young, Emma. It's not about envy, it's about tampering with evidence. Note to self, Emma lacks a sense of humor. Use caution. You need to learn to respect your elders a little. Something seems so familiar about that brooch. This is the murder weapon, isn't it? This revolver? That's right, a big .45 caliber revolver. Wow! I wonder who brought this in here. I thought only police were allowed to have one of those. Why are you giving me that look? I didn't do it. I didn't. Listen, I was out in the hall eating snackoos when it happened. I know! No one here thinks you did it, Emma. It's hard to tell with you sometimes, Apollo. Hey, what have I done? Wait, if the killer brought a revolver, it must mean they had planned this from the start. That's right? The middle of the weapon is a revolving chamber.
That's where you load the bullets. A revolver, see?
Revolver, revolver. That sounds a bit like Wonder Bar. Especially if you say it really fast.
I guess.
You know what I always used to think? I used to think the closest sound to Wonder Bar was one liver. There's just so many words in the world, Apollo. Isn't it amazing?
So many different words, so many different people. People like Trucy.
That's a body, isn't it? Sure is. The victim, no less. Let's take a closer look. Go ahead, Apollo. You first.
Me? No, you should go first, Trucy. Really?
Will you two stop bickering and get over here?
She's munching on snackoos again. Hope she's not too annoyed.
Apollo, look at this hand.
He's holding something.
Hey, no touching.
You can throw all the snacks at me you'd like, Emma, but sooner or later, you're going to run out of them.
You raise a good point. I'm a bit intrigued by this scene. Let's take a look. Ah, see there? He's holding something. What's this?
A keyring?
You think it might belong to the killer? Certainly a possibility.
What an unusual keyring, and what unusual keys. This could be a vital clue. So this is the murder weapon? This revolver is incredibly heavy.
It's been fired twice. You can still smell the gunpowder. That's odd.
What's odd?
Oh, nothing. Hey, no fair. Tell us. It's just something about this revolver seems strange.
Strange?
What do you think about this revolver?
Well, it's pretty big and heavy.
That's right. It's a .45 caliber. That makes it one of the deadliest revolvers around. Even the police don't carry guns this big.
Really?
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. You don't need so much power to kill at such close range. It's overkill. I'm not sure I see the problem. I mean, whenever I go out to eat curry, I order it extra spicy, just to be sure it's spicy. Of course, I can only ever eat 1 or 2 bites.
And that's not a problem?
There's another thing about a gun this big. It puts a lot of strain on the shooter.
Strain?
Yeah, say if you were to fire this revolver. The recoil would probably dislocate your shoulder. Ouch! It's like the shooter's a victim too. Yet the killer used this revolver, and quite well. I'm guessing whoever did it was used to shooting.
Used to shooting a high-caliber weapon?
Mr. Romain Latouche, wasn't it? He was La Mirare's manager and interpreter, apparently. This was his first time in the country. So I'm guessing he didn't know many people here. It doesn't seem likely, nor can I think of anyone with a motive to murder him. Except for one person, of course. One person? Who?
La Mirare. No one here might have had a motive, but she's from...
What are you talking about?
Hey, it was Emma's idea.
I said nothing.
Always with the snacks.
He's a big man, or was. I don't think even I would win in a fight with him.
Which is why whoever it was used a revolver, I'm guessing.
We've sent a request to the Borginian embassy for more info on him. Well, you and I know more about the crime than anyone. You do?
That's true. It was us who found the body.
What? I guess that's what I missed for watching the concert.
Hey, I wish I was watching the concert. Anything would be better than this.
Well, we know the crime took place during the concert.
And when we heard the shot and entered the room. The killer was already gone.
What? But that doesn't make sense. You came in when you heard the shot and no one was here? How did they leave the room?
That window is a little too small, isn't it? The mystery of the disappearing killer.
Well, that's about it. I think we've looked at just about everything there is.
I guess you're right.
I know how you're feeling. It is hard to know when to stop. But anything more involved has to wait until the squad gets here. I suppose. I'll go report the evidence. Sorry, but could you wait here till I get back?
Huh? Oh, actually, we have to...
Great, thanks.
She left.
What do we do, Apollo? She told us to wait.
Great. Now how am I supposed to investigate?
Oh, well, I guess it can't be helped. Let's go.
Huh? Go?
Time's wasting, Apollo. We've got a lot of ground to cover.
Well, that's true, but... On second thought, why not? I'm sure everything will be fine.
Of course it will. Let's go. Yee!
Who's there?
We didn't just imagine that, did we?
He was wearing a silk hat. Friend of yours?
Hardly.
Whoever that was, he sure looked suspicious.
Huh, looks like nobody's here.
Prosecutor Gavin's probably busy with the case, too. No rest for the wicked.
No rest for us either, Apollo. Let's get rocking. Rock, rock!
What is with today? Problem after problem. Achtung! You ain't kidding.
It's the two leading members of the Gaviners, Apollo. Clavier on vocals and Daryan on guitar. They're so cool.
I have a hard time thinking of Clavier as anything but a prosecutor, honestly.
Huh? What are they arguing about?
Probably the case, I'd bet. My hog won't start, my guitar case is busted. My guitar's been burnt to a crisp, and to top it all off, someone's dead. And then there was that performance just now. What was that all about? Hey, man, don't blame me. You were the one who missed the cue. Me? Miss a cue? How could I conceivably get the most important part of that song wrong? How? And what was all that tinny playing of yours? Who you calling tinny?
Sounds like they're having a spat. One of those differences in musical direction bands are always splitting up over.
This is hardly the time. What are you two doing here? Hiya. We were just discussing the investigation, if you don't mind. Sorry. Wait, you are what? Listen, you need to confirm that with the Republic of Virginia, Detective Crescent. Right. Anything else? Oh, what did he just call him? Detective? Ah, greetings. Daryan Crescent, Criminal Affairs, Division 3. Hello. Criminal Affairs?
Apollo, you really don't know anything about the Gaviners, do you?
Something tells me that's about to be remedied.
I don't believe you, Apollo. How can you come to this concert and not know about the Gaviners?
It's not surprising. Why, even our ancestors knew nothing of America's existence once. I know America exists.
The Gaviners aren't just an average rock band, Apollo. Each member is connected to the police somehow.
The police?
The real police! By day, they pack heat, but by night, they heat up the stage. By day, those lips interrogate. By night, they sing songs of unrequited passion.
Okay.
They debuted 7 years ago with 13 Years Hard Time for Love. Then came Love with No Chance of Parole and My Boyfriend is the Prosecution's Witness. The list of hits goes on and on. This here's my right-hand man, Darian Crescent. I make the melodies and he attacks them with his guitar. He's a bit of a rogue, really. And this guy's a bit of a perfectionist. When a performance goes the least bit wrong, he goes into this funk, just like today. I'd hope murder would be more off-putting than a ruined concert. The concert today? A disaster! I'll get to the bottom of this, and then we'll see who missed a cue. The missed cue. They were arguing about that before. Great, I love nothing more than questioning tormented artists. I was wondering if you knew anything about this? Does it look familiar? Familiar? It's mine! That's my keyring! I've been looking all over for it!
What? This is yours, Mr. Gavin?
I knew it!
Apollo! How can you make that I knew it face? This is the keyring that was...
Yeah, I know. Thanks anyway. So, where did you find it? Actually, the victim was holding it. Like he was trying to keep it from the killer, even if it meant his life. What? The victim? You mean Mr. Latouche had my keys? Indeed. When will my trials be over?
Speaking of trials, I've never heard Mr. Gavin whine in court like he has been today.
Emma was right about the fop, I'll give her that.
Apollo! Mr. Gavin, maybe we can help. Tell us about your troubles today.
I really don't think that's...
Tell us! And we'll keep mum about the keyring for now.
Are you blackmailing me, Fraulein? You were saying something about your motorcycle not starting?
And something about your guitar case being busted?
You're well informed.
You mentioned it a few times.
It all happened this morning. It's all this keyring's fault. The keyring? It's got all my keys on it, yeah? My bike key, my car key, and the key to my guitar case.
Wait, so this keyring...
It disappeared. I thought I'd put it in my jacket pocket. Prosecutor Gavin's keyring disappeared? I had to come to the concert by taxi. How embarrassing. And in order to get my guitar out, I had to break the lock. Wait, this guitar wasn't the one that... The very one, up in flames. And right on stage, too.
I actually thought that was part of the show.
Crazy. And to top it off, Mr. Latouche's life was taken. Nobody told me about days like these. Strange days indeed. You think? What's wrong, Trucy?
Well, I was just trying to make sense of everything. First, this heart-shaped keyring gets stolen. Then a very expensive guitar flares up on stage. Then Mr. Latouche dies.
Yes, and?
Could it all really be just a coincidence?
Coincidence? Meaning? Darian, could you make any sense of this? Hey, don't look at me.
What do you think, Apollo?
Huh?
I mean, either Mr. Gavin's having a really bad day, or all this was planned.
You aren't thinking what I think you're thinking. Are you, Fraulein?
I am.
What? What? Hey, don't leave me in the dark with Spike here. The name's Apollo, but yeah, I agree. Don't leave us in the dark. What are you talking about?
Haven't you noticed a connection, Apollo? A curious connection between all of Mr. Gavin's troubles today?
Well... You know, something was bugging me too. That keyring and the guitar and the body.
Slow down there, Polly. You look a wee bit dizzy.
He's bluffing. He hasn't figured it out.
Fess up if you're a man. You're as clueless as I am.
Huh? No, give Hair Forehead a chance. Let's see your evidence of the connection. Shall we?
Evidence? I better think of something pronto.
Come on! Let's see it! What's the connection between all of Mr. Gavin's troubles?
Take that! It's this, isn't it? A lyric sheet? The guitar Serenade? What's that got to do with anything?
It has everything to do with everything. Though I wouldn't have believed it if the Fraulein hadn't pointed it out.
What are you talking about, man? Enough with the riddles!
Maybe it is a coincidence, or perhaps it means something. Don't you think, Fraulein? I do. Everything that's happened to Mr. Gavin today is predicted in the lyrics to the song.
What? No way!
Look, just think about everything that's happened to Mr. Gavin. Let's list them in the order that they occurred. While reading this lyric sheet.
First, the key ring was stolen.
And not just any key ring, a heart-shaped key ring.
That's right here! When you stole away the keys my heart held onto so tight. This is a heart holding keys.
And next, his guitar burst into flame.
Burning on in my heart fire, burning my love away.
And then Mr. Latouche was killed.
Like a bullet of love, fire, take my life away.
But
that's crazy!
Yeah, no kidding.
So everything that happened today here? This song predicted it all?
Or perhaps it was the other way around.
Huh?
The criminal could have based their crime on the lyrics.
But who would go through all that trouble?
Someone who moves in mysterious ways, no doubt. I believe you stumbled upon something quite vital and quite annoying, Fraulein.
She looks pleased. About the crime.
Which crime do you mean?
The murder! What else?
Oh, that. For me, today has been a hit parade of crimes, you see. Prosecutor Gavin was singing the blues earlier, wasn't he? Something about his hog and his guitar case? Anyway, I'm afraid you know more about the killing of Mr. Latouche than I do. For now, at least.
Huh?
You were the one who found the body, yeah? While we were in the middle of a performance, no less. Aren't you going to examine the crime scene, Prosecutor Gavin? I'll leave that to Fraulein Detective. Wouldn't want to step on her toes. They're not exactly the best buddies, are they? Emma and Prosecutor Gavin, I mean.
Well, what to do next? We've already checked out the scene. Prosecutor Gavin may be right. We might be the most informed for once.
Maybe Prosecutor Gavin can shed some light on things we found. What's this Miss Q you keep talking about? Aha, you heard it, didn't you? From the audience? Actually, I didn't notice anything.
See? No amateur is going to pick up on that.
Can you guarantee an entire audience of amateurs?
No. Now take a listen to this.
What's that? A mixing board. We used it to record our concert tonight.
Aren't we supposed to be investigating a murder?
Well, we've come this far. Might as well go all the way. I've always wanted to learn about the recording industry. This is but one of the devices used in recordings. We're a 5-part band. This lets us record each member's performance separately. You use the sliders to adjust the volume for each part. Check it out. Wow, neat! So, could you say hear only the drum part? Of course. That's how we'll find the criminal guilty of missing his cue tonight.
I'm more concerned with the other criminal, the one who kills people.
You want help on the case? Then help me with mine. I guess rock and roll comes before prosecuting. Let's begin. First, we bring up the part of the performance in question. You simply choose the section of the song you wish to hear in the uppermost bar. Like so. There it is. Now listen.
Was something wrong?
You couldn't hear it? Listen again, closely.
Ah, the timing's a little off, isn't it?
You see? There, right at the most important part. And even an amateur can hear it. An amateur with a mixing board, maybe. You're missing the point. We'll never stamp out crime until we're perfect. Perfect! Here he goes again. Right. Herr Amateur, you will prove my point. Huh? Me? You will find the miscue. You will tell us which instrument, which part, is the guilty party. But how? Did I not just explain it? Move the sliders with the left stick to adjust the volume for each part. Then you will find the part that hopelessly bungles the cue with the left stick. You'll find it with your untrained amateur ears.
Nothing to do but try, Apollo.
I guess. I'll admit, this looks kind of fun. First, a quick review. Use left stick up and down to adjust a part's volume. Jump to another section of the song with L and R. And use left stick left and right to switch parts, right? Got it! Once you found the guilty party, press X to point it out. Time to rock!
Take that!
This part is off. Which is that? Second guitar. Ugh. It was you, Daryan! Oh well, looks like the cat's out of the bag. Ah well, that's all you have to say? That kind of attitude lets killers walk free, Daryan!
Here they go again.
Maybe it wasn't such a good idea to ask about the concert. It's starting to feel like we're just wasting time.
It's all experience under our belts. That can't be bad.
I still can't get over the title for that song. Guilty Love? The lyrics predicting the crime. Clavier? Seems a bit more than just a coincidence to me. I have to agree. The keyring, the guitar, and the murder. The keyring might have been dropped by accident. Yet the victim was holding it. Hard to think that it was unconnected. That's true. Prosecutor Gavin's as calm and collected as ever.
So the criminal matched their actions to the lyrics?
That sounds likely. Why would anyone do that? While we think about that, I'm going to get cracking on the biggest crime here. I'm going to talk to the Borgianian embassy about this Mr. Latouche. Ah, right. Thanks, Daryan. I'll leave the pondering of mysteries to you. I'm out of here. A foreign national, Mr. Latouche, was killed. It seems like that would be the point of all this. But they did more than that. They left us with not only a murder, but a mystery.
Mr. Gavin sure is irritable today.
Maybe this is the real Prosecutor Gavin we don't get to see in the courtroom. I've had enough, frankly. If you find any more mysteries, do me a favor and keep them to yourselves, yeah? Yeah. I guess this is all we're going to get from Prosecutor Gavin. That leaves La Mirar to question. Prosecutor Gavin, do you know where La Mirar is now? Ah, I had her go to my dressing room. With that pianist, Machi Tobai, of course. She seemed rather shocked by Mr. Latouche's sudden passing. The Gaviner's dressing room. Got it!
Yee!
Who's there?
There he goes again!
Who is that guy?
Huh? Trucy? You know, he did look sort of familiar.
So he is a friend of yours.
No, that's not it. Sorry, I don't remember.
Curiouser and curiouser.
Ah, let me roar. What has happened? I heard that Mr. Latouche has died.
Lemire, you speak? I mean, you speak English?
Yes. I was invited here from the Republic of Borginia, but I am not Borginian by birth.
But wasn't
Mr. Latouche your interpreter? Yes. Well, it was Mr. Latouche's idea. He thought it would add to the mystery, you see.
Then your pianist is also...
No, Machi Dobai is Borginian. He does not speak English. Now, please tell me, what has happened to Mr. Latouche? Why did he... Actually, Mr. Latouche was...
Trucy!
Huh?
Remember what Prosecutor Gavin said. Not a word!
But Mr. Latouche is Lemirar's manager! That's not fair to her! I mean, isn't she a related party?
Precisely who Prosecutor Gavin doesn't want to alert, I'd suspect.
All we have been told is to wait here in this room. It is very unsettling.
I'm sorry, we're trying to figure it out ourselves. Do you think I could ask you some questions?
Of course, I am always willing to help.
She's as calm as she looked on stage. I can't put my finger on why, but I like this Lemirar.
What is it, Machi? What? But you'd be alone.
What seems to be the problem?
Machi, he is not good around strangers. He wishes to go out for a breath of fresh air. Would that be all right?
Sure, of course.
Very well. What is it you wish to ask me about? You see the words written upon the postcard? They say, a landscape painter in sound.
A landscape painter in sound? That's a nice image. That reminds me. Does this brooch look familiar to you?
My brooch? Yes. Well, it may be mine.
Yours, Lemirar?
I was wearing a brooch earlier, you see. I must have lost it. Well, that explains the brooch we found. It was Lemirar's. Thank you. I was wondering where I dropped it.
So this brooch belongs to her. That begs the question.
Is something wrong, Apollo?
What was this brooch doing at the crime scene? The Republic of Borginia, that's in Northern Europe, right?
I've never even heard of it. I started out singing in a restaurant. Then a producer called me. Before I knew it, here I am. You don't say! You know, my daddy plays piano in a restaurant.
Producers tend to look for talent, Trucy. Lemirar, you're not from Borginia originally? Were you born here?
Well...
Oh, is that supposed to be a secret?
Image is everything when you're a star. I know a bit about that, of course. Yes, it is something like this. A contract, you might say. I'm also not to speak anything but Borginian in public.
Image is important, I guess.
She's not all image, though. Her songs are lovely. A real landscape painter in sound.
A painter in what?
She travels the world, turning the sights she sees into music. That's the secret to your music's beauty, right? You're very perceptive. Oh, I use your songs all the time in my stage act. I don't have to pay royalties for that, do I?
Stop while you're ahead, Trucy.
This landscape painter in sound too is an image. Yet without it, my songs would not be so widely heard. They even call you the Siren of the Ballad, right? Yes, in Morginian, the Mirar means the siren. I fear that perhaps already I am not the siren I once was. Your pianist, Machi, was it? He's cute, like a porcelain doll.
He's very European.
I met him while singing in restaurants in Virginia. He is an orphan, yet his playing is exquisite. Soon he came to live with me. It's like a fairy tale almost.
I noticed he hardly leaves your side.
Yes, well, he is blind. At first, I hesitated at dragging him across the world.
He doesn't speak English either, does he?
He had never left Virginia before we met. I made his presence part of my contract. Machi and I together are La Mirar, together, always. Mr. Latouche was my new manager.
New?
Yes, from 3 months ago, around when I received Mr. Gavin's invitation to come. I met Mr. Latouche in my office. He was to be my manager and bodyguard, and, as it turned out, my interpreter.
Interpreter, even though you speak English?
Yes, but we were to visit more places than just here. We had a concert in Japan scheduled after this one, though I fear that may have to be cancelled now.
Was Mr. Latouche from the Republic of Virginia too?
Well, he was only with me for 3 months. I'm afraid there is much I do not know about him. And now I shall never know. No one will even tell me why he has died.
I'm sorry. Prosecutor Gavin said we weren't to talk to anyone.
Mr. Latouche was a talented man. The siren of the ballad. That phrase was his idea, you know. I am happy for him that it has become so well known.
The siren? That's what he meant!
Huh? Apollo?
You are the siren, right, Lemurer?
That is the meaning of my name in Borginian, yes. It was the name my producer gave me, but why do you ask?
It's very important. I had to know for sure if the siren was you.
What do you mean, important?
I'll tell you. You deserve to know. Siren. It turns out that's a very important word in this case.
How?
When we found Mr. Latouche, he was still alive.
What?
I heard him say something. His last words. Mr. Latouche, can you hear me? Ask a witness. Hang in there, Mr. Latouche. Tell me, who was the witness? The witness is Siren.
He said siren. Really?
I was the only one there to hear it, but I'm sure that's what he said.
Mr. Latouche said that? Ask the witness?
And you're the siren, Lemurer. Did you see what happened? Lemurer?
Here. Might I ask, since you are with the police? Might I ask, are you with the police?
Well, no, I'm a defense attorney.
An attorney? Yet there have been no arrests, yes?
Is that a problem?
Does an attorney not work for a client? If you have no client, you should leave the investigation to the police, I think. But Lamira, I'm sorry, but I cannot answer your questions. I'm afraid you lack the authority to ask them.
Why? If she witnessed the crime, why won't she tell us?
I believe we are through here.
I believe so. Whoa, who's there now?
Ah, it's you. Where were you?
Emma! Is something wrong? She looks grumpier than usual.
You bet something's wrong. The impossible's happened. It's all your fault, you know. Oops, maybe this is about us leaving the crime scene.
What do you mean by impossible?
Well, it's gone! Utterly gone!
What's gone?
The body, stupid! What else?
Eh?
Mr. Latussa's body has disappeared!
What?
Ah, Prosecutor Gavin! From your vacant stare, I gather you've heard the news. I heard Mr. Latussa's body has gone missing. Look for yourself. Quite the pickle. Quite the pickle.
How can you just stand there? We have to start the
There's no need for alarm, Fraulein Detective. All entrances and exits have been sealed. The body will not leave the building. So, I suggest we go find ourselves a cadaver. There will be plenty of time to ponder the whys later.
Well, you seem pretty sure of yourself, Mr. Gavin.
Oh, we'll find him. I'm rather enjoying this. How could Mr. Latussa's body just disappear?
Well, you heard the man. Let's get searching.
Hey, I don't know if this is the right time, but... Yes, Daryan? See, Geeter's gone missing. It was in the dressing room.
Geeter? Who's Geeter?
That's what I call my guitar. You like, man? Your guitar was stolen?
This hasn't been a good day for guitars or Geeters.
Okay, body first, then guitar. And if someone finds that guitar, please bring it to our dressing room. Geeter's like a missing person, not lost and found, man.
Does something seem different to you, Apollo?
Something is definitely different here.
Ad break. Let's check it out. That stage there must have been lowered before.
That's the tower that La Mirard and Prosecutor Gavin were singing on.
Someone must have raised it. I don't see a way to control it from here. Apollo, what about that ladder there against the wall? We could use that to take a look up top.
Maybe we should get Emma.
What are you talking about? We have to see this sort of thing for ourselves.
I'm not so good with heights.
Stop whining and start climbing.
It didn't look that high from below, really. But when we got to the top, I felt every one of those 15 feet down. Of course, I wasn't thinking about the height anymore. Not after what we found up there.
Eee!
We found two things we were looking for, and one thing we never expected to find. The body, guitar in hand, and the pianist, Machi Tabai. Wow, that concert last night went south in a hurry.
No kidding. Why did they arrest Machi? Why?
Don't look at me like it's my fault. Machi Tabai, the blind pianist, arrested on suspicion of murdering Romain Latousse.
I can't believe such a cute little boy could do something so horrible.
Well, I guess they had proof of some kind.
What proof could possibly prove that?
Morning. Prosecutor Gavin? What a night, eh? I apologize for being so upset.
Mr. Gavin, do you know what's going on? Why did they arrest Machi? Why?
Don't look at him like it's his fault either. It was tough for me too. We performed together that night after all. Yet, the powers that be say that, given the circumstances, it could only have been him.
What do you mean by the circumstances?
Lamirar is invited from Virginia as an ambassador of goodwill. It is vital that this case be wrapped up swiftly. That's all the powers that be want, really.
Well, those are circumstances, all right. But what makes Machi the only possible suspect?
Hair forehead. You seem to have forgotten that you're talking to the prosecution, the enemy.
Ah, right. I think I like this side of Prosecutor Gavin better, actually.
I'm not at liberty to discuss the particulars of the case. Especially not to the defense attorney.
What? Did you just say me? The defense attorney?
That's what I came to tell you. He's down at the detention center. He wants to request your services.
He? You mean Machi? Machi wants me?
This is what we've been waiting for, Apollo. Let's get going.
Right.
Good luck. I'm off to question Lamirar.
Right. Later. I hope I'm up to this.
Well, I just don't get it. I refuse to believe a cute little kid like that could do something so terrible.
You said that already.
Machi, everything's going to be okay. We're here for you.
Hi. Maybe you could tell me about last night?
Huh?
That was when I realized how tough it must be. A little kid like this. In a country so far from everything he's ever known.
Maybe Lamirar can help?
But didn't Prosecutor Gavin say she was with him?
Good luck. I'm off to question Lamirar.
Well, what are we going to do? That's, a good question. I can't think of anything we could do but go with this. And hope for the best at the trial tomorrow. Court is now in session for... How do I say that?
Machi Tobai, Your Honor. The pixie of the arpeggio.
Right, his trial. Court is in session. The defense is ready, Your Honor.
The prosecution is A-OK, Herr Judge.
Very well, Prosecutor Gavin.
Ah, my opening statement, yeah?
No, actually, there was something else I wanted to ask you about.
Yes?
Say you're going to visit someone in the hospital with an incurable disease. What do you say to them?
Eh?
I mean, you wouldn't say get well soon, right? You'd only be kicking them when they're down. What are you talking about? Actually, I'm going to visit someone who is terminally ill. Right after this trial, the Chief Justice's son.
The Chief Justice?
His son is afflicted with the most terrible disease. He doesn't have long, it seems.
Ah.
So I thought I'd go pay him a visit. I thought saying something moving might be the order of the day.
Why don't grown-ups ever just say what's on their mind instead of pretending? She's looking at me with something like disgust.
Hey, what are you looking at me like that for? In any case, I'm a bit busy today, so let's wrap this up quickly. Prosecutor Gavin, your opening statement, briefly.
You're in luck, Herr Judge. I believe you'll be going on your hospital visit sooner than you think. First, to review the victim in this case. Romain Latousse, age 35. The global manager for diva songstress Lamirar. The cause of death, blood loss due to being shot by a large caliber revolver. This report has all the details.
The court accepts this into evidence. 45 caliber. That's quite large, isn't it? A direct hit from that could knock a man off his feet.
However, the bullet struck him in his shoulder. The damage to the body was slight. Death was not immediate. Sadly, his blood loss was such that he could not be saved.
I suppose the victim's condition could have been much worse, considering.
2 shots were fired. 1 shot missed, the other penetrated and passed through the victim's shoulder. Both bullets were found in the wall at the scene. Observe the diagram. This is where the bullets hit.
I see. The court accepts this into evidence. If we're talking about a 45 caliber revolver, we must assume that the killer was adept at the weapon's use.
Really?
Yeah, apparently weapons that size have a powerful kickback. If, say, the judge tried to fire one, it'd break every bone in his body.
The defense will take more care in choosing examples.
As I was saying, the victim was shot backstage in a dressing room. This dressing room has only one entrance, this door.
That does seem to be the case, yes.
However, there were witnesses who heard the gunshots. He's talking about you and Emma, huh? Yet when the witnesses entered the room, it was empty, save for the victim's body, of course.
But that's impossible!
Exactly. This murder was impossible. For all but one person.
One person?
That is, of course, the defendant, Machi Tobai.
Only this defendant could have committed the crime? But how?
It's quite simple. The circumstances of the crime scene make it clear.
Very well. I assume you have testimony to back up this claim. Please show the witness to the stand.
Your name and profession, please. Emma Sky. I'm a detective for the police department. I was on security detail at the concert forum that night.
Emma seems tired somehow.
Security at the concert, you say?
Some security I was. Couldn't even stop a murder.
Now, don't blame yourself. Things like this happen. I've made even bigger mistakes in my career, you know.
I'm sure that makes her feel much better.
I want to hear about these bigger mistakes. In any case, because you were on security detail, the crime was quickly discovered, and we were able to identify the killer. You may give the court your testimony if you would. Describe the circumstances of that day and your discovery of the crime, please. All right. The night of the murder, I was on security backstage at Prosecutor Gavin's request. Only people involved with the concert in some way were allowed backstage. At the beginning of the third set, I heard shots. I went into the room filled with blaring rock music and found the body. I examined the scene and determined that only the defendant could have done it.
It was lucky that a detective was the first on the scene.
But that door was the only way out of the room, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Then I don't get it. How can they say that Machi did it?
Looks like we need a bit more information.
Very well, the defense may begin the cross-examination.
The night of the murder was the night of the concert, yes?
That's right.
What was a detective doing on security detail, might I ask? If it was only a concert?
My thoughts exactly. But orders are orders, even when they come from rock gods.
Prosecutor Gavin?
Yes, allow me to explain. I smelled something that day, you might say, the stench of conspiracy. That day at the concert hall.
Conspiracy?
Well, isn't it obvious? My keys! That whole morning, no, the whole day was ruined! And that's all because someone stole my keys! I couldn't ride my hog to the show, I couldn't open my guitar case. There he goes again.
Isn't it possible he simply misplaced them? Misplaced them? Misplaced items don't just wander into a murder victim's hand on their own. What's this? Prosecutor Gavin, if your keys were in the victim's hand, then that makes you a prime suspect. Love, slow acting and new, Atroquinine is waiting for you.
He's singing something.
Does everything with this guy have to be so over the top? The killing happened in the middle of my concert. I was, like a sailor, adrift on a sea of sound. Anyway, I didn't want anything else stolen. So I put the detective with the most time on their hands on the task. I see. I can accept that.
Well, I can't. What do you mean, time on their hands?
Please, the testimony. We were let in, though.
I didn't know about that. I certainly didn't invite you.
I gave the Fraulein special permission to be there. I wanted to see her again.
Oh boy, did you hear that? We're officially involved now.
Gee, great.
Some other hanger-ons trying to get backstage, but I drove them off.
So no other outsiders were there then?
And then...
I believe we were having a chat when we heard the shots.
You were the one chatting. I was eating snackoos.
Oh, hey! No snacking in court!
And you're sure the shots came from La Mirage's room?
Yes, absolutely!
Hey, I'm the one being cross-examined here. Here, this'll keep you quiet.
Oh, thanks. So, how about it, Emma?
We were right. There, hard to be mistaken about that.
Please either talk or eat. Not both at the same time.
Right, so after that, me and Mr. Lawyer there opened the dressing room door.
Rock?
Blaring, yes.
When you say rock, are you referring perhaps to this rock and roll music that's so popular these days? That's right. When we went into the dressing room, music was blaring over the speaker on the wall.
They pipe sound from the stage into the backstage through speakers. That way people in the back can hear when they're supposed to be on stage.
Did it have to be so loud?
You don't listen to the Gaviners with your ears.
You feel it with your entire body and soul. I always have the backstage monitors at full volume.
When we walked in the room, the band was playing Guilty Love, I believe, making it easy to determine the time of the crime.
If you could hear that music playing,
then everyone on stage for that song has an alibi, including myself. Anyway, I closed off the scene and started my investigation.
How could you know something like that?
As I said, it was clear from the circumstances. Listen, we know there was only one exit from the room, that door. The small window only opened a tiny crack, and I was standing in front of that door. So, how could the killer have fled the scene? There's only one possibility, the air vent.
Oh!
Objection!
But that air vent was too small! Who could possibly?
Exactly. There's certainly no way you could get through, nor me. The only one who could fit through was a child.
A child?
Remember, access to those rooms was limited. Only those involved with the concert were allowed. And of all the people involved with the concert, only one is small enough to be considered a child.
The defendant?
The pixie of the arpeggio flitted up toward the sky and disappeared from the scene of the crime.
Objection!
But that's just conjecture!
Oh, there was no other way out of that room. You were there, you should know, Hair Forehead. And there is another vital piece of evidence.
Evidence? What?
Marks were found on the air vent grill. Traces that it had recently been opened.
Wait, what?
And something else was found, quite clearly. The defendant, Machi Debai's fingerprints.
What? Order!
That air vent was the only way out of the room. The defendant's fingerprints were found on the grill. Well, Hair Forehead, what fairy tale does this suggest to you? Only one could pass through that vent, that doorway to heaven. And that one is our pixie. Why are you looking at me, Apollo? Hey, I was out whooping it up in the audience.
So this was his decisive evidence. Quite decisive indeed. I believe that's enough of that. The prosecution has a rather convincing case. The only way in and out of the crime scene was watched, making the defendant the only one who could possibly leave the scene. Simple and decisive. I believe we've heard enough to determine our verdict, even if I wasn't in a hurry to make a hospital visit.
I'm sure the Chief Justice will appreciate the gesture. Unfortunately, we have no direct witnesses. Fortunately, the criminal left decisive evidence for us. That will have to be enough.
Oh, it can't be over already! Very well, I believe this trial is finished. If the defense has no contradicting evidence...
The prosecution has presented our proof, clear and plain. If you have contradicting evidence, it'd be better to be clear and plain. It better be clear and plain. Ah, Apollo, they've got us on the ropes already. We better come up with something quick.
I know! Think, what could get us out of this?
We need evidence or a witness that can prove Machi's innocent beyond a doubt. Without that...
Mr. Justice, do you have contradicting proof that can overturn the prosecution's case? If you do, you'd better tell us about it now.
This is it, and so soon! If I mess this one up, it's all over! The court wants contradicting proof? Prosecutor Gavin, you claim that there were no witnesses to this crime. Are you absolutely sure? Absolutely. I'd swear it's on my career as a prosecutor. And on my million-seller hit song, A Troconine, my love. There he goes again. That's too bad, because there was a witness.
Ho, really now? But how did you come to possess knowledge of the prosecution clearly does not?
Because I am the only one in the world who knows this! What's going on? I just talked to him and now... He's alive! Mr. Latouche, can you hear me?
Cold, so cold. Witness.
You're cold? Don't worry, you're going to be fine! Help is on the way!
Can't see.
Hang in there, Mr. Latouche! Tell me, who is the witness?
The witness is...
What? The victim said this before he died? Perhaps he did, and perhaps he did not.
What do you mean by that?
All we know is what Hair Forehead says he said. It's no testimony, especially since it comes from the defense attorney himself.
Objection!
But it's the truth! He said it! I even told you about it! But apparently you ignored me completely! It's my policy to fully investigate everything I deem relevant. Clearly, this rookie lawyer thinks he can tell me how to do my job.
That's enough! Mr. Justice, we need clear contradictory proof from you. This witness of yours, unknown to the prosecution. I hope you're right. Failure carries a stiff penalty.
Perhaps a stiffer penalty than usual is called for?
There's no backing out now. Let's hear the name of your witness, Mr. Justice.
Take that!
Lamirar?
Recall Mr. Latus's last words.
The witness is... The siren. Aha! He meant the siren.
That's right, the siren of the ballad, Lamirar. Lamirar was only on stage for the second set. And she had access to the backstage area. She could have been a witness.
I see. Well, Prosecutor Gavin?
My claim still stands. There was no witness to this crime.
Very well. Let's hear it from the horse's mouth then, shall we? We will now take a break from Detective Emma Sky's cross-examination. Please show Lamirar to the witness stand.
Lamirar would say nothing the night of the murder. Not today, though. Today, we'll drag that story out of her no matter what it is. It is my distinct honor to welcome the siren of the ballad to our courtroom. You are too kind.
Ah, you can speak English?
Yes, I can. Though I am not very good, there is much I do not know.
You speak so well. Have you spent time here before?
Actually, I do not know how I came by my knowledge of your language, nor where I studied it. What does she mean she doesn't know? I too thought to call her as a witness, but I did not. I had a reason, of course.
What's that?
Lamirar suffers from amnesia.
Amnesia?
Lamirar is not my true name, yet I remember nothing of the time before I was given it. Nothing of the time before I started singing on stage. Whoa, she's even more mysterious than I thought. As lauded singer Lamirar, she lives a good life. There are little difficulties for her thanks to her success. Yet, I did not wish to subject her to unnecessary stress.
I see. I care surprisingly little about people's pasts. You have nothing to fear in this court, Lamirar.
Thank you. Yet there is something I do not understand. I am being called as a witness. What might I say? No one will tell me anything of what had happened. Lamirar, let me be frank. I did not want to ask you up here to testify. Yet that young gentleman with the wide forehead over there was adamant that you stand. Oh my. Congratulations, Apollo. You're the bad guy.
Well, now that you're here, please give us your testimony. If nothing else, the sound of your voice is welcome. Tell us what you saw the night of the crime.
As for what I saw nothing. That night, I was invited to sing on stage, and this I did. I did not return backstage after the second set. Then I was led by the police to Mr. Gavin's dressing room and told to wait there. That was where I learned that something had happened, but I wasn't told the details.
I must say, you sound wonderful just testifying.
I hope he was too distracted to hear what she was actually saying. There you have it. She saw nothing that night. Now we can only pray that the defense has the sense to admit defeat and refrain from detaining her here longer than need be. Wow, you just got better, Apollo. Way to go.
Very well, Mr. Justice. Keep it short and sweet.
Lamirar wouldn't talk to me the night of the crime. She must know something, and I've got to find out what.
I'm sorry, Lemurar, but I'm having trouble believing you. You remember this brooch, do you not?
Why, that's Lemurar's. She was wearing it for her song.
Care to add that to the testimony, Prosecutor Gavin?
What?
This brooch was found after the murder took place. At the very scene of the crime.
What?
Lemurar, how did your brooch get backstage if you did not go there yourself? And as Prosecutor Gavin has just told us, you had been wearing it during your performance that night. What is the meaning of this? Lemurar, please explain. Lemurar?
She says English is quite difficult.
That trick's not going to work here.
Your forehead may be large, but you are a lawyer, truly. But you have missed one important fact.
What now?
In fact, at the time of the incident, I went backstage, but only for a moment.
What?
Think back to the moment of the crime. You know whereof I speak.
Is she really saying all that?
What's she talking about, Apollo?
Right when the incident occurred. Ah! Is she talking about that?
Watch this room for me. I have to call for backup.
Right, understood. You want me to make sure no one comes in, right? Mr. Latouche, can you hear me?
Cold, so cold. Witness.
You're cold? Then don't worry, you're going to be fine. Help is on the way.
The witness is Siren.
Siren? How can a siren witness anything? Yipes! Emma! What was that? Who's there? What's wrong? Emma, did you see anyone just now?
Huh? No.
I could have sworn I heard a door close.
I looked into the room, just a glance, mind you. So this was when your brooch dropped? That explains that. It does. There was no other time I could have dropped it.
But that's ridiculous! You only looked in for an instant, but you dropped your brooch?
Hair forehead. She has raised the possibility. The only thing that can counter that is evidence.
So she looked in at the crime scene.
Actually, I intended to go into the dressing room. I knew nothing of what had happened, of course. But the moment I opened the door, I heard a horrible voice. Hair forehead shouting, "Who's there?" no doubt. A horrible voice indeed. I closed the door immediately.
Well, that explains the brooch. Let's return to your testimony. That's too convenient. She's hiding something. Lemurar, you did look into the room though, right?
Yes.
Testify as to what you saw.
Very well, though it was only the briefest of glimpses. When my performance was finished, I went backstage for just a moment. I saw nothing. The late Mr. Latouche's body was behind a wall.
Gotcha!
The late Mr. Latouche's body, you say?
Yes.
You know something more about Mr. Latouche's death than you are saying.
What?
I could see you trying not to remember, but the effort made you swallow. You can't fool my eyes.
It is true. It was so terrible after all. Why did Mr. Latouche have to be shot?
One moment, Lemurar.
Yes?
What was that you just said? Why did Mr. Latouche have to be shot?
Yes?
She was hiding something, I knew it! Lamirar, I'm afraid you haven't realized it, but your words just now contradict your testimony!
How could that be?
Take this! Lamirar contradicted her own testimony, and I have the evidence to prove it!
Take that!
Tell me, Lamirar, how did you know he had been shot?
Well, I...
Immediately following the incident, a gag order was placed on the scene. This is the document proving that. In your testimony, you told the court, no one told me anything about the incident. Furthermore, you testified that you had seen nothing. Yet you knew that Mr. Latouche had been shot. How could you have known? Yow! Lamirar, you aren't hiding something from this court, I hope. That sweet song of hers was sounding a little too sweet.
Now I remember. Please, allow me to add to my testimony.
Of course. All we want to know is the truth.
She looks kind of pale, huh?
She saw something, I know it. Even the victim said so.
I saw bullet holes in the wall and knew Mr. Latouche had been shot.
Objection!
Lamirar, they call you the siren of the ballad, but lies are hardly becoming of such a creature. A put-down worthy of our prosecutor, Mr. Justice.
Such put-downs are hardly becoming of you, Apollo.
Stop polishing your forehead and start polishing your character, yeah? Come on, can't that be cool for once? Observe the diagram. Lamirar, you looked in from the door for just a moment, correct?
Yes, that is so.
There were bullet holes in the room, yes? But they were in the wall. In the wall the door is on. You see? Assuming you merely glanced into the room, you couldn't have seen those bullet holes. Yow! Lamirar,
Yes?
I am afraid the defense has raised a good point. It appears you have been holding back something.
And I must tell you? I must tell you what it is that I saw?
Yes. The happenings in this trial are being recorded, and I'm certain it will be on the news in Borginia. You understand your reputation is at stake. It falls to you to avoid tarnishing it. Personally speaking, I still believe that cross-examining her will yield us absolutely nothing. But she knew how Mr. Latouche died, and he named her as a witness. You must have seen something, Lamirar. Very well. Lamirar, please continue your testimony.
Very well, I shall. I was on my way from the stage to the backstage exit. There was something like a little window there. That's how I saw it. There were 2 shots. I couldn't do anything to stop it. But it wasn't Machi. It was a grown person. I know it was.
So you did witness the crime. And the killer was a grown person, you say?
This is my first time hearing this, I assure you. Nice play, Herr Forehead.
Very well, Mr. Justice. You may begin your cross-examination.
Great going, Apollo. You were right about Lamirar. What's wrong? You don't look too happy.
This whole thing smells fishy. That's what's wrong.
Hold it!
A grown person. That's a little vague.
I am sorry. My skill with your language is lacking, I know.
certainly you could at least see whether the shooter was male or female.
It was a man, a young man.
And you're sure of that?
Yes, his voice was quite clear.
Voice? Looking at this diagram, it seems the dressing room was quite cluttered. It does seem likely that you wouldn't have had a clear view of the shooter.
As a singer, I rely more on my ears than my eyes. When I hear a voice, I do not forget it. That voice was the voice of a man.
So you heard a voice. But wait. Couldn't that have been the victim, Mr. Latouche?
Absolutely not. Did I not just say that I do not forget a voice? If it was Mr. Latouche who spoke, I would have known.
Indeed. So you were at the window when you heard the shooter's voice, the voice of a young man.
Apollo, this is a good testimony. That proves it wasn't Machi.
Indeed. If this turns out to be true, it would cast this case in a considerably different light. What is the defense's opinion of this testimony?
Though it pains me to say this, there's something about Lamirar's testimony that rings false. Bravo, Hair Forehead. You're colder than I thought. I'm sure you remember what the problem is as well as I do, Gavin. As has been established, no grown man could pass through that air vent. He couldn't have fled the scene of the crime.
But that means Lamirar has to be lying.
I know, and I know it's bad for our case, but I can't shut my eyes to this. Believe me, the idea was tempting. It is as Hair Forehead says. Yet, this is not the only contradiction within her testimony. What next? What's he talking about? Lamirar, I understand why you would want to protect Bachi. Yet remember, you are the siren of the ballad, and lies do not become such a creature.
What does the prosecution mean?
Apollo, what's he talking about? How come no one bats an eye when he says stuff like that? I recall the state of the crime scene quite well. The state of the room? Yes, and when the murder took place, that window was closed. I find it hard to believe you could hear a voice through it.
What? But I'm sure.
Lamirar, I have nothing but the highest regard for your musical sense. But my opinion of you as a witness is somewhat lesser.
Objection!
But she's the only eyewitness we have!
Objection!
So you say. And the victim named her, the siren, is the witness? That's right! That's what Mr. Latouche... We heard your claim. We even entertained the possibility. And it brought us to this. Herr Judge.
Yes?
The prosecution requests that the witness be excused. Please.
I'm afraid I must honor the prosecution's request. There is indeed a question of the witness's credibility.
But if Lamirar can't testify, then we don't have a chance of proving Machi's innocence.
This cross-examination is over. Prosecutor Gavin, you may continue making your case.
Danke. Now, where were we? Ah, yes, I would like to hear from Fraulein Detective again.
Objection!
Wait! Let me hear Lamirar's testimony one last time!
But the cross-examination is already over. Until such a time as a need arises, this witness may leave the stand.
I'm sorry I could not be of more assistance.
At last, back to the real trial. Ready, Hair Forehead? I hope I didn't just miss my only chance. Fraulein Detective, how far had we gotten until we were so rudely interrupted? Don't ask me! I dislike saying the same thing twice, and I never repeat a song for an encore.
If you would, Miss Sky.
I believe I was saying that the only way Mr. Latouche's killer could have escaped was through that air vent on the ceiling.
Ah, yes, there was only one door in the room. And a witness, you, was standing in front of it.
That air vent isn't very big, see? Kind of limits the people who could possibly get through.
I certainly would have a difficult time.
You sure would. Not that you would have been there in the first place, though. Remember, the whole backstage area was off limits to people not involved with the concert. The only one who meets the conditions for our killer is the defendant. A virtuoso performance. I couldn't have put it better myself.
She does state a clear case. Though, reading the report, something caught my eye.
Oh, what's that?
The circumstances of the defendant's arrest.
The circumstances? Again? Hey, that's right, Apollo. Remember when we found Machi? That was bizarre.
She's right. Why did Mr. Latouse's body disappear from the room and end up on top of that stage tower? Holding a guitar, no less. A perceptive observation, Herr Judge.
Ah, thanks. It was kind of an accident, really. But you work in this job long enough. You get a nose for things.
The judge sure seems pleased with himself. Very good, Fraulein Detective. Perhaps you can tie it all together for us. Why was the body moved? And how does that lead us to the killer? I believe Machi stole the body because of some lyrics. He moved the body to match Lamirar's song. No one in this country had a motive to kill the victim. And Machi practically left his signature at the scene. All of this evidence clearly points to the defendant.
Lamirar's song?
Yes, the guitar Serenade. You noticed its code too, did you not?
Its code?
All the events that day followed the lyrics to our song. First, the keys my heart held onto so tightly were stolen.
Then Prosecutor Gavin's guitar burst into flames on stage. Mr. Latouse's life was taken by a bullet.
The rest hardly needs explanation. Guitar, guitar, up together to the sky.
That's mad! It's like a story out of some fairy tale!
I admit, I'd forgotten about the song. But there it is now, waiting for me. The grand finale, as it were.
Hey, you know, I was the one who first noticed that.
I've heard of jumping rope to songs, counting to songs. But killing?
It's a wild world out there, Herr Judge.
Very well. We've heard one song and dance. Let's get on to the next. The cross-examination.
I'm not so sure I'm going to be doing much singing. What do you mean by his signature?
The bullet holes in the wall, of course.
The bullet holes?
The revolver was fired twice. One shot missed and left a hole in the wall.
And that means what exactly?
That dressing room isn't exactly spacious. Picture the shooter facing off with the victim in there. They can't have been more than 5 feet apart. It would be difficult, almost impossible, to miss at that range.
Difficult to miss, you say?
Very. Assuming the shooter could properly aim.
No! You can't be serious!
Machi, he can't see. That's why he missed? It's the only explanation that makes sense. He used sound and other senses to fire the gun. Poorly. That reminds me, the monitor in that room was blaring at the time, yeah? Hardly ideal conditions for tracking by sound.
A blind shooter. No wonder he missed.
I knew those bullet holes would come back to haunt me. Think, Justice, what do I do now? Sure, there were bullet holes left in the wall. But that doesn't prove the shooter couldn't see!
Oh, how so?
Well, there could have been a struggle with the victim.
That's certainly possible.
And it might have been the revolver's fault.
The revolver? The revolver was a very large caliber, correct? If the shooter wasn't used to firing such a large weapon, why, it could dislocate their shoulder.
Exactly! The defendant, Machi Tabai, is, as you can see, tiny. It's not so hard to picture him firing the gun and missing entirely. The kickback alone would have thrown off his aim.
A convincing argument, to be sure.
Ha ha! Take that, smug prosecution! Apollo? Huh? What? That bit about Machi being tiny and the gun throwing off his aim? Aren't you kind of, admitting that he did it?
Oh.
It does not matter why he missed. What matters is that the shooter was, without a doubt, the defendant. Even the defense seems to agree on that point.
Cripes, I really put my foot in it this time.
But let's get the facts of the matter on the record. If you would, Fraulein Detective.
Very well, the witness will add this to her testimony.
Right. From the state of the crime scene, I conclude the shooter was blind.
Objection!
The prosecution holds that the shooter couldn't see. A scientific conclusion based on a thorough examination of the crime scene, yes.
Apparently not thorough enough.
I have a certain piece of evidence that completely overturns your claim. But what? This is that evidence!
The photograph of the crime scene?
I don't care much for the smirk on Prosecutor Gavin's face, but this is no time to think twice. Time to press on! Yes, Your Honor, the crime scene. There is something in here that decisively contradicts the prosecution's point. Then perhaps you'd best show us this something. Get your finger out of the breeze and put it to good use, yeah?
Very well, show us what you're talking about, Mr. Justice. The contradiction at the scene of the crime is...
Take that!
The contradiction is right here! The smeared bloodstains!
I thought it was just my blurry vision, but it really was blurry. The way the victim's hand is raised above his head. Much like a gesture I've seen many times in this court.
It's almost as if he wrote something. Aha! I get it! At least I think I get it. Get what, Fraulein? When Mr. Latouche was shot, he tried to write something. And what would he write but the shooter's name? And what would he write in it? What would he write it in but his own blood? Pretty good, huh? Thanks for making my point for me. Yes, in fact, that's what I think happened here.
That does seem to be a distinct possibility.
The victim wrote the killer's name. It's certainly a logical conclusion. Drat! I just wish it wasn't all rubbed out like that.
Of course it's rubbed out. Why, if I were a killer, I certainly wouldn't want to leave my own name behind.
Neither would I. No one has anything else to say?
About what?
So the prosecution accepts this? You agree that this was the victim making an attempt to record the name of the killer? And that the killer tried to rub the name out? What's your point? What's my point? Let me ask you this. How did the killer know the victim was writing their name? Well, Mr. Latouche was writing something in blood. Once the killer saw what it was... Wait.
Once he saw what it was?
But what did you just testify about the shooter? I said they were blind. Ah! Yet the crime scene itself contradicts that. The killer had to have been able to see. Why would they rub out the name in blood otherwise? May I remind the court the defendant, Machi Tabai, is blind. He couldn't have been the shooter. Impossible!
Order! 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 Prosecutor Gavin, please explain to me what all this means! I mean, looking at this photo, it seems quite clear that the shooter could see. Yet, up until now...
It seems I owe the court an apology.
Hmm?
The Gaviners are a band with law enforcement ties, yet a murder occurred. During our concert, apparently this caused some confusion over jurisdiction. As a result, some reports were not filed in an entirely timely manner.
I'm not sure I like the vibe I'm getting here.
Hey, Apollo, look at him. Why is Prosecutor Gavin all relaxed and smiling like that? Like he knows something we don't, and he's about to tell us. I've got an idea.
Let's rock!
With these documents. But before that, I have a question for the Fraulein detective. If I may? What? Tell me, why do you think that Machi Tabai is blind? Huh? What did he say? What are you saying? Of course he's blind. Of course? He's the blind pianist, right? So he's... Doesn't Lamirar lead him around by the hand all the time? No way. I have a report here on the defendant, Machi Tabai. According to this, Machi Tabai can see perfectly well. What? His blindness was merely a publicity ploy by those clever Borginians. He can see quite well.
Objection!
But you said... What did I say exactly? Hair Forehead, not once in the course of this trial have I claimed the defendant was blind. The only one who did was Fraulein Detective. But that's... a significant fact, yes. Consider, Machi Tabai sees. And he was the only one who could have fled through the air vent. I see no problems with this. But what about the bullet holes in the wall? Yes, the bullet holes. I believe Herr Forehead neatly explained those for us. He didn't miss because he couldn't see. It was the kickback from the .45 caliber revolver. A simple accident, in other words. How's that? I'm afraid your objection has just flown off for brighter skies. This is where the real fun begins, Herr Forehead.
Yeah!
I knew you didn't have what it took.
You jerk! Just what was I in here for? Comic relief? Yeah, apologize!
Oh, sorry.
That's no way to apologize!
He's angered the Trucy now. Look out.
If we can please end the bickering. Now?
Whatever, I'm not leaving. I can't leave like this. I'll come up with some clue to solving this case if it kills me.
But your testimony has already given us enough to convict the defendant.
Don't say that. Aha!
Aha what?
This blood stain. The criminal tried to wipe it off, right?
That seems to be what happened, yes.
We might be able to find out what was really written here.
Really? You can do that?
That's right, with this. It's called luminol. Maybe you know of it. It's a chemical that reacts to blood.
Ah, yes. Have we done those tests yet?
Ha! As if I'm going to tell you.
The blood stains covered a section of the carpet. In order to perform blood tests, that section was removed and submitted. Perhaps we should request it here in court now.
Right, go for it, Apollo.
Huh? I have to do the test?
You just have to spray the luminol on it. Simple.
A chemical that reacts to blood. I've heard of this somewhere.
Yes, I believe an analysis is called for. Have at it.
Right, ready? It's easy as pie. Just press A to spray an area. Here, give it a try.
The eyes of the entire court are focused on me. Apollo, your hand's shaking.
Uh, let's do this! Wow, it really works!
This must be the power of science. It says IPXX314206. Is that the killer's name?
Maybe it is, if the killer was a robot!
Aha! I have it.
So what is it?
I thought those letters IPXX looked familiar. This is an Interpol ID number. Interpol? You mean the International Police Agency? Yes, most are undercover agents working to solve international crimes. But why would he write that number?
Why would Mr. Latouche even know a number like that?
Good show, Fraulein Detective. Rock on. Eh? Your Honor, we can verify this number immediately. Darian, are you there? Come up to the witness stand. Daria, you heard what we need. Go check into this Interpol ID number.
Sure thing. Give me 30 minutes. No, give me 27. I'm not sure what to think of all this. The prosecution's case is airtight, or so it seems. Yet if this number is really that of an Interpol agent...
Oh, wait, I know. What if Machi Tabai is really an undercover Interpol agent? That would be a possibility.
A possibility, yes. And one that would mark him as the killer for certain.
Why did Mr. Latouche know an Interpol ID number? That's what I want to know. Well, we have some time while we await Darian's report. Let's work on unraveling another mystery, shall we? A curious mystery concerning Machi Tabai.
What are you talking about?
Fraulein Detective, please accept my apologies. I received word that the defendant could, in fact, see just before the trial began. It seemed too much of a bother to tell you. You had me until that last bit. Ad break, and I'll be back. Does this not raise a rather straightforward question? Well, sure. Why did Machi pretend he couldn't see? Exactly. It makes little sense. Using chat. What do you think, Air Forehead? Huh? Me? Machi Dabai pretended he was blind. Do you know why? How could he know? Wait, Prosecutor Gavin knows why, doesn't he?
He's known from the start of the trial. He's been leading us on the whole time.
Something wrong? Do you think perhaps this is all some kind of game? Know that the moment I heard that report, I knew why.
I suppose people who have sold over 1 million records really are something else.
What does that have to do with anything?
There was a reason why Machi Tabai pretended to be blind, but it wasn't for his own sake. Getting the picture now?
It wasn't for himself?
Well, Mr. Justice, can you present evidence that shows us why the defendant had to feign blindness?
Machi had no reason to pretend he couldn't see, which means, no, it couldn't be!
Good show, Hair Forehead. It seems you've thought of something.
Why can't I figure these things out on my own? I hate having to take my cues from this guy. Very well, look at this. This is why he was pretending he couldn't see.
Take that!
That is La Mirar?
La Mirar and Machi Tabai. Recall their relationship. In particular, their unique arrangement over the years before visiting our country.
La Mirar and her pianist. They would always walk together, she leading him by the hand. Even when they got on stage, she would lead him to the piano. She would walk all the way over there with him.
That's right, because he was blind. She led him at all times, never letting him go.
All times.
Yet, we have just learned something that makes their arrangement peculiar indeed. Machi could see. Why did they have to keep up this act the whole time?
Well, wasn't it part of their performance?
I think there's a simpler explanation. Machi did not need to be led by the hand at all. That can only mean one thing. Really? Really, it was all the other way around. The one who needed to be led by the hand was La Mirar.
What's this? So you mean to say that La Mirar is cheese?
Yes, Your Honor. La Mirar is blind. What?
Order! This is crazy, Prosecutor Gavin!
Is it now?
Please shed some sanity on this madness! The defense has made an outrageous claim!
The only thing outrageous I see about the defense is his vast forehead. Yet I see it is not vast in vain. This time. He's quite correct.
But that makes no sense!
Yeah, wasn't she supposed to be the landscape painter in sound or something? Well, since we have her here, why not ask La Mirar herself? I believe she is still in the witness waiting room. Apollo, what does this mean for our case?
Don't ask me. I had no idea she couldn't see. I hadn't even imagined it until now.
Bailiff, bring in La Mirar.
La Mirar, it pains me deeply to call you before us again in this way. And yet I must. Please do not be concerned on my behalf.
Those eyes, she really can't see? Really?
It is true. How funny it is that a tiny lie bordered the Borginian countryside would one day grow to entangle the entire world.
So you are...
Yes, as I mentioned before, I have no memory of the time before I became La Mirar. Know, too, that my memories begin in darkness. The word light has no meaning for La Mirar.
I see. You may recall me saying something toward the beginning of this trial, Hair Forehead. What's that? I believe I said it was unfortunate this crime had no direct witnesses. Ah. Now, La Mirar, I must ask you to stand once more. Will you testify to the court about your eyes?
Of course. It was never my intent to deceive any of you. May I begin, Your Honor?
Yes, of course. Though I admit I'm a little lost here.
I think we're all a bit lost here, Your Honor.
I have no memory of the light. I debuted in a world of darkness and sound. My producer came up with my PR line before he knew this. So, silly as it may sound, I had to pretend I could see. Everyone on my staff knew, of course, but no others.
But this is a murder trial!
I apologize. It was part of my contract, you see. I was to keep my blindness a secret, no matter what. Music is everything for me. I never imagined something like this would...
She told us the truth in the beginning, when she said she saw nothing.
Very well. Does the defense have anything to add?
I'd like to cross-examine. But what is there left to ask? There was one thing in her testimony that bothered me. Perhaps it is best we let you get it out of your system. Someday you'll come to understand the importance of thinking for yourself.
Very well, the defense may proceed. However, be aware that this court will not tolerate any questions deemed too stressful to the witness.
Okay, there was only one part that bothered me. Just let me ask about that and I'll be happy. When you say your staff, do you include Mr. Latouche?
Of course, he was my manager.
So he knew, and that's what's been bugging me.
Something the matter, Mr. Justice?
I believe I know what is bothering our young defense attorney. You are thinking of when you discovered the body, yes?
Is he right, Apollo?
Yes, I was. He's alive! Mr. Latouche, can you hear me?
Cold. So cold. Witness.
You're cold? Don't worry, you're going to be fine. Help is on the way.
Gets. See.
Hang in there, Mr. Latouche. Tell me, who was the witness?
The witness is Siren.
Mr. Latouche told me to ask the witness, and he named you. Why would he do that? He knew you were blind.
I don't know.
Tisk tisk. What did I just say? You need to learn to think for yourself. Meaning what? There is no mystery here if you recall everything he said. Think of his last words once more.
The witness, Siren. We've heard them many times, along with a little play acting by our defense.
I remember them well myself, but that statement is not what I refer. I mean what he said before that. Before? What came before that? Ah! That's right. He tried to tell you. When he said can't see, he wasn't talking about himself. He was talking about the witness.
I see.
Too bad the defense did not. Well, Hair Forehead, try relaxing and looking at the facts first next time.
Yeah.
Order, order! Recall Lamarar's earlier testimony.
I was on my way from the stage to the backstage exit. There were 2 shots. I couldn't do anything to stop it.
But she couldn't have heard those gunshots. I thought we proved that.
That is not the most important point here. The moment he was shot, Mr. Latouche witnessed her through that window. Why else would he have named her as the witness? Ah! But I really did hear them. 2 gunshots, and the man's voice. Unfortunately, such a thing was impossible. The window was closed. We have already run a simulation, of course. But it was so clear. If I heard that voice again, I would know it in an instant.
Your Honor! What is it, bailiff? Can't you see we're in session here?
We have the results back from the investigation.
The investigation?
Ah, the Interpol number that Mr. Latouche left us.
Well, let's hear it. We will continue this cross-examination afterward. Detective Crescent, your report, please.
I asked Interpol about that number. I'm sure you'll find their answer intriguing. Quick work as always, Daryan.
Well, tell us about the number. Is the defendant a secret agent?
IPXX314206. The agent registered under this number was Romain Latouche. What? Our undercover Interpol agent was Mr. Latouche himself. He was apparently in the middle of an operation. So, when he wrote those letters, he was trying to tell us his own identity. And a cautious killer tried to wipe them away. Mr. Latouche was an undercover Interpol agent. So him being Lamirar's manager was just a cover, most likely. There's one other important detail I found. Well, out with it. It concerns that .45 caliber revolver, the murder weapon. Apparently, it belonged to Romain Latouche. He had an Interpol permit to carry firearms. And the registration number on the revolver matched. So the victim was killed with his own weapon, which makes sense. It's hard to imagine someone who wasn't an Interpol agent with such a large revolver. So the victim was an Interpol agent on an undercover op. I wonder how that ties into everything. It's got to tie in somehow, you'd think. Yeah, somehow.
Thanks for looking into that for us, Detective Crescent. It's a great help.
Oh, no problem at all, Your Honor. I'll be heading out. Wait!
The mirror! Is something the matter?
That voice just now. Daryan? Mr. Daryan, is it? It was him. I am sure of it.
It was him?
You aren't saying! That voice I heard talking to Mr. Latouche when I heard the gunshots fired. It was him! It was Mr. Daryan! Is this some kind of a joke? What? No way. The courtroom fell into such a chaotic state the trial had to be suspended temporarily. I'd never seen that happen before. Of course, it's not every day that you get an accusation like that one. Lamirar fingering Daryan Crescent. Not only is he a guitarist, he's a detective! Could it really have been his voice Lamirar heard? Things were changing fast, and frankly, I wasn't sure I could keep up with it. Hey, no whipping out now, Apollo! And I think that's a fine spot to stop. Sorry about not realizing that the sound for the game was off at the beginning. I really should have checked harder. I'll chalk it up to still being a bit frazzled about having to reset and redo a couple things since the hard drive change. All right, let's see. See, Megiddo's back in Wilds. Sure, why not? All right, all set to go. We've arrived at our destination. Please watch your step as you disembark. Please follow if you liked. Thanks for watching. Peace be with you, and may the forces of evil be confused on the way to your home. Bye.